I've compared myself to Juan Mata of Chelsea. He is a Spanish footballer who currently plays for Chelsea in the Premier League. He primarily plays as an attacking midfielder, can also play as a winger. He is 24 years of age and is regular in the Spanish squad, deemed the most successful country in world's football history. So my first attacking weakness is 1v1 situations on a football pitch. And beating a man one-on-one is a key in every game, as you can open up space for yourself and create goal-scoring opportunities for others as well as yourself. Mata is exceptionally good at keeping the ball away from his opponents and beating them in one-on-one situation, largely thanks to his agility, speed, coordination and reaction times. Thanks to his low centre of gravity and balance at 5'7", he can quickly change direction when on the ball. I lack his agile ability simply because I practice and enhance it less than he does. He is also faster than I am. This being due to a large number of fast twitch fibres in his muscles, type 2B, which are able to generate a higher force more rapidly than I could, which results in more muscle hypertrophy in the long term. Mata also has brilliant coordination, as he can move his feet quickly with minimum effort and time. This links with his reaction time, as reacting to his opponent's movement will determine what he does next. This, combined with the speed and agility and coordination, allows Mata to beat his opponents comfortably. The reason I can't execute one-on-ones efficiently is a combination of weaknesses and the abilities mentioned. Mata is so good at one-on-ones as he practices these skills daily in training and match situations. To improve my skills, I could complete the Illinois agility run on more occasions, practicing dribbling and improving my reaction time. Another reason for my weakness is my lack of perceptual skill. This links with the reaction time, and Mata has immense ability to sense and interpret sensory information. This allows him to make the right decision within the short space of time required. I also lack the quality of proprioception to predict my opponent's movements and act accordingly. This, along with my poor perception of the environment and identifying what is important about my opponent's movements, prevents me from being successful in 1v1s. By practicing more one-on-ones in training and in match situations, I could use comparison and recognition methods to previous situations, which should improve my perceptual skills in order to beat the man. I also suffer from state anxiety when faced with 1v1s, unlike Mata, who is super confident due to previous success, thus a corrective measure for this is difficult. I could use cognitive relaxing techniques combined with a perceptual skill from memory to beat the man, using mental rehearsal by picturing imagery in my head and attentional control training to finally become more successful like Mata. Self-confidence also links with this, and this comes from practice and success in completing the action of 1v1s. My second attacking weakness is shooting from outside the box and scoring. Around 45% of goals scored in the Premier League in the 2011-2012 season were from outside the penalty area. This shows how important shooting from distances is as a skill. Mata has more fast twitch fibres in his calves, as I previously mentioned, and quadriceps, which are able to generate high forces rapidly, resulting in muscle hypertrophy. I lack this explosive power in my legs, and this power allows Mata to strike the ball at such a force that it often beats the goalkeeper. Another reason for Mata's shot power is that he almost physically lifts himself off the ground when he shoots, due to the power in his legs and joints and how much effort and force he's putting into the shot. To improve my power, I could complete the vertical jump test and use leg weight resistance machines to build the muscles in my legs. My balance also lets me down before taking the shot, resulting in me swinging my leg at the incorrect angle due to being off balance. Mata has superb dynamic balance, which allows him to retain his centre of mass despite the efforts of defenders pushing him and the speed he is travelling at. To improve my balance, I can strengthen the muscles in my legs and practice the stalk stand test more regularly. I could also gain more experience in training by constantly becoming more agile by working on my feet. Mata also has incredible perceptual ability, which allows him to identify the position of the goal, opposition players, the goalkeeper and the ball. This therefore allows him to adjust his body position and strike the ball accordingly, so to avoid any players and beat the goalkeeper. I lack this perceptual ability, resulting in shots being blocked, saved or completely off target altogether. To improve perceptual ability, I could work on these specific situations in training to increase my experience to help me adjust my body to shoot on target. Mata's perception of these situations is also why he's so good at long range shooting. He can easily detect where opposition players are and how they react to his shot. And since he scores lots of goals, he will be familiar with the situation, therefore relies on comparison, detection and recognition in order to be successful. To improve perception and attention to detail, practicing these situations regularly will increase experience and thus I'll become more successful. Mata also will note the position of the goalkeeper using his short-term memory and short-term memory store, which will identify key aspects of the environment around him. This will go with the sensory attitude into his short-term memory, so he can remember exactly where the goalkeeper's position is. I can improve this aspect of my game by practicing mental rehearsal, organising information I'm given, and thinking clearly in a relaxed state. Mata also has brilliant anticipation and decision making, allowing him to determine the right time to pull his leg back to take the shot and how far he has to bring it back, which is also determined by the power he wants to put in the shot. He starts his motor program before the stimulus is fully recognised, helping him partially eliminate the psychological refractory period. I lack this ability, resulting in a second stimulus being released, causing the information processing to be slowed down between the relevant stimulus and the appropriate response. Again, to improve this, I could practice shooting more frequently first time to improve my reaction time and anticipation of the ball's flight. I also suffer from state anxiety when faced with shooting opportunity, which can explain why I panic in these situations and often misskew my shots, rarely scoring. Matt doesn't suffer from this as he is so experienced and copes well under pressure. Often when I go to take a shot, I'll either give the ball away or lacking in self-confidence, so I'll pass it. Matt doesn't suffer from this. No, so that I could control techniques such as imagery. I could use control techniques such as imagery reduction and intention control training to calm myself in these situations by visualising my shot before I take it. Self-confidence is also a cause of my poor shooting from range. Lacking confidence to shoot and score results in me passing a ball to the teammate or losing possession. Matter, on the other hand, is used to positive results from shooting through practice and game situations. So this is how I could build my self-confidence, by practicing and training. My defensive strategy, which is a standing tackle. That's the first one. Tackling is a huge part of the game, especially a standing tackle. This is my other weakness. Reasons for this include the strength in my legs. Often when I get the opportunity to tackle, I'm not strong enough in the challenge to come out with the ball, often losing possession. This also comes down to my technique and the power in my legs. I have less fast twitch fibres in my calves and quadriceps. Matt focuses on technique and uses the strength and power of his legs to generate the force needed to win the ball in a standing tackle. The fast twitch fibres of type 2B generate high forces rapidly, resulting in muscle hypertrophy in the long term, a reason why Matt is better at standing tackling than I am. To improve my power and strength, I could complete the sergeant jump test, pushing against weights in the gym. Often I'm off balance when attempting to make a tackle, resulting in my body weight being on the wrong foot when I go in for the tackle. Therefore, there's no force behind my tackling foot. Matter has an incredible dynamic balance, which allows him to maintain balance under changing conditions of body movement, giving him force behind the tackle. My motor ability to process the information about how and when to move is poor. Matt, on the other hand, can process this information and anticipate when the best time to tackle would be. This links with his perceptual ability of the situation at hand, as he can identify the danger and the best time to make a standing tackle. To improve my perceptual ability, I could play more practice matches in training to gain more experience in identifying the danger and learning the best ways to challenge. I could also work on my technique and timing, combined with my power and strength to improve my tackling ability. I also lack certain aspects of perception in detection, comparison and recognition, as all three can seriously help in attention to detail. Detection is where I need to be aware that something notable is going on around me, where the ball is, where the opposition players are, and what my nearest opponent is doing, who might be receiving the ball, which is particularly key for tackling. Comparison is where I could compare the situation to previous experiences I've had in training and matches to make the correct decision. This links with recognition in that I could realise and respond to a given stimulus if it's repeated. For example, if an opponent is constantly using the same trickery to get past me or the same skill, I'll be able to predict I'll be able to anticipate and detect that he's doing this, and then recognise that he's going to do this, and then make the tackle. This combination of the detection, comparison and recognition is what Matty uses perfectly and gives him the ability to detect the environment around him. The corrective measure to improve this is simply gain more experience in tackling. The use of selective attention is also a cause of my weakness in standing tackling, as I don't store information of my opponent's movements to the short-term memory section of my brain. Matt does this, which keeps information deemed worthy of attention there for 20 to 30 seconds before repeating the information and storing it in his long-term memory. This allows him to anticipate his opponent's movements over 90 minutes per game based on memory, allowing him to tackle at the perfect time. This could be also used for my game. A corrective measure would be to mentally rehearse and store opposition movements, so I can anticipate and recognise his movements, and then make the correct decisions challenge. This links with decision making and reaction time, as well as anticipation. Reaction time is the time between the onset of a stimulus and the start of a response. It's an inherent ability which I'm not confident with. This, along with the movement time and the time taken to complete the onset of movement, are causes of my poor tackling, as I do not anticipate or react to the opponent's moving, meaning I mistime the tackle and making the wrong decision. Matter starts running his motor program before the stimulus is fully recognised, as he anticipates the strength, speed and direction of the stimulus, which enables him to eliminate the psychological refractory period. This is my problem, as I allow this to set in. It occurs after the initial stimulus, creating a second stimulus. This causes a time lag for the information to be processed, slowing down my reaction time. A corrective measure would be to practice reaction tests such as the ruler drop, sprinting at the sound of the gun to react to the given stimulus. Also, a good method would be to get in the perfect arousal so I'm high on alert and quick to react. My motor units and sub-routines, which contain all the information needed to complete a tackle, aren't specific or good enough. The movement from sprinting to lunging into a tackle is done subconsciously instead of consciously like matter. This lack of fluidity in the reaction and motor program results in a less fluid action being completed. To correct this, I could use cognitive learning by memorising the technique and tackling and constantly repeating it on a try and error basis to ensure the basics are perfect of my technique. Then the associative phase can commence, where I could focus on movement comparison of the action, making it more fluid and it should require less thought. Then the autonomous phase, the motor program will become well integrated and an automatic reaction to the given stimulus, meaning I can focus on adapting this ability to the environment and wider cues. Another corrective measure to improve my tackling would be to use plyometric training. This is a type of resistance training involving eccentric to concentric actions at 100% intensity, performed quickly so the muscle stretches prior to the concentric contraction. This uses stretch reflex to facilitate the recruitment of motor units within the active muscle tissue. The muscles in my leg have specialised proprioceptors, such as the muscle spindles and the Golgi tendon organs, which are sensitive to pressure and tension. By strengthening these via plyometric exercises, it will improve my coordination, reaction time, power and flexibility, which will therefore improve my ability to tackle. The lack of aggression in my tackle is also a cause of my weakness, and Matt uses the correct force each time, as he's never over or under aroused. He uses channeled aggression perfectly to use the perfect amount of force to win the ball. To combat this lack of aggression, I could use mental rehearsal by imagining the benefits of a positive result from the game and how winning my tackles firmly and with confidence can contribute to victory.